body part to access the device. So for example, if I hit this button,
Turn the page.
then it's going to activate the first message there and say turn the page, because this particular display was set up for a child that was reading a book, as you can see here, about Little Critter. So this allows the person a little bit more flexibility if they're not able to use their fine motor skills
and more
to
independence.
access.
You must see incredible changes in people. I can't even comprehend how rewarding that is.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and it spans the lifespan. So really we're talking about young kids, obviously, where we see differences where for the first time that they're able to say something to their mom or dad, or really get involved with a friend or a sibling when they're playing with something, because they're able to talk about it. But really up to the other end, where we have adults who are very used to communicating quite easily, like you and I today. We can sit here and have a conversation without too much difficulty, and then all of a sudden something happens. So perhaps they had a stroke, or they were in a car accident where they had a traumatic brain injury, and then communication is affected. So to be able to give them back some of their communication abilities, and in many cases allow them to do everything that they need to do in their daily lives, is truly very exciting.
And it gets more sophisticated as the person's needs develop? I mean, can you get a button that says, I'm going to write a check, or I'm going to pay by credit card or something?
Absolutely. So these systems, the one that I'm showing you here today, is quite limited. There's only a limited amount of vocabulary or messages that the person can access. But we really work up to the other end of the spectrum with the technology that is very computer-based, using touch screens and dynamic display screens, where clients can type out full messages. So particularly if they're literate, then of course they want to say something the way they want to say it. They might not necessarily want to say, good morning, how are you? They might like to say, hi, what's up? And if that's the case, then great, they can do that, because they can use their system to generate whatever message, whatever language that they would use if they were using their natural speech.
And there are programs in place for people who can't afford this. Some of this technology is very expensive.
Right. Sometimes that's a barrier that we face, and a lot of the work that we do with our clients is to help them identify funding sources so that they are able to go ahead and get whatever equipment or technology that would make it easier for them or make it possible for them to do the things that they need to do.
How much is this specialized equipment, for example, something like this?
Something like this would run in the neighborhood of about $800, up to $1,200. You can get different layers or different levels of vocabulary. So you can pull out one sheet and put in another sheet, flip a button, and then you have access to another whole 32 message display. So depending on how many of the displays you purchase, then it becomes a bit more expensive. But then of course we have much more expensive technology. So some of the others that I have sitting here on the table today that have the dynamic computer screen, they would run in the neighborhood of about $8,000.
Definitely need help to pay for that.
Well, the whole program and the question of money comes to mind for me is you have the devices, which are very expensive. You have a client base which stretches 10 counties wide all the way down toward West Palm Beach. What are resources like? Do you have enough people? Do you have enough dollars? And if you don't, where are you going to go in the future?
Well, in terms of funding for the actual technology, we work with individual clients to determine, okay, do they have Medicaid coverage, do they have Medicare, do they have private insurance? If this child is in a school setting, then we can gain access to funding that way. So we really look at what is their setting, what are their needs, and what access to funding might they have. If they don't have access to any type of funding, then FAST does offer some flexible options to be able to borrow equipment, for example. So that's often a very important piece of the equation, is to really take the time to spend with the device to make sure, okay, this is the right one for me before I'm going out and spending $8,000, or we're getting the funding however we're getting it. We also have, we run a program called AT-Bay, so similar to eBay, where clients who are no longer using assistive technology, or if loved ones have passed on and they have the technology remaining, that they can sort of recycle it and pass it on to someone else. And sometimes they're just donated, given to someone else who is in need, or in other cases, then they can be purchased at a reduced cost. We also offer a loan program. So if a person is really struggling with finding the funding to purchase the system that they know that they need, then we will help them to do that through our guaranteed loan program.
Tell us about the camp.
Sure. Well,
You like this one, I can tell by your face.
The camp is one of our really fun special programs that we run through the center. So we have clients who are coming to us on an ongoing basis for assessments, for demonstrations, and for ongoing therapy. But then we try to establish these fun and unique programs in the community that really allow some of our constituents that otherwise don't have access to this type of programming. So our summer camp is one that we spend a lot of time thinking about and planning for, and really collaborating with a number of different community agencies. And I certainly should mention that we don't operate in isolation. We really try to collaborate with those other agencies that are targeting the needs of individuals with disabilities in our community. So for our summer camp, it's a day program, and we'll target a particular age range. And last summer we worked with teenagers with disabilities. A number of them had Down syndrome, but some other developmental disabilities as well. And they came to us to learn about how could they use whatever type of assistive technology to help them with their school tasks. So doing homework, completing tasks in the classroom, etc. So we looked at a number of different software programs, hardware, what have you, had the opportunity to try those with the clients and with their families. Because the family piece is really important, we feel. In a lot of cases in a school setting, parents are not always with their children to have the opportunity to learn how to use the technologies themselves. So we tried to target the families as well as the kids. And the really fun piece for our students, of course, is that they get the opportunity to work directly with clients who have disabilities to try to help them to identify some solutions that will be right for them. And
so much need, but so much ability to help, obviously. And we're going to have you back so we can talk a little bit more about it and get the word out more about the program so we can get everyone on the fast track, so to speak.
thank you.
Thanks so much, Jennifer Kent-Walsh.